That you're never too old to learn, and that has resonated with me through the years, and I continue to learn and will continue to learn as long as possible. I'm Denise Sampson. I started working at the Unit Trust Corporation in December 2005 with the then Chief Financial Officer. I enjoy learning at all times. My colleagues, my friends, my family, they trust me to get the task done. As an executive assistant, most people don't realize how much patience we need to have. You have to have a listening ear, listen to what they say, and try your best to comfort them and also to assure them that you will be able to assist them in the shortest possible time. My most memorable feedback at UTC is that I'm considered reliable. It made me feel all nice and warm and fuzzy, and it encouraged me to continue to do my best at all times. In the acronym FUND, the D for dependability represents me. I think dependability means that you're reliable, trustworthy, selfless.
I remember my dad telling me at 40 years, you know, how to get smart, right? So my name is Omar Holder, and I'm the Sales Manager of Advisory Services Department in the Sales and Marketing Division. I'll be here in Unit Trust 20 years, December 1st, 2023. Our day-to-day in sales is really connecting with people who are our investors currently and who are not our investors. Unit Trust is really a place that you live the Trinidad and Tobago motto of every creed and race can literally find an equal place. You meet everybody under the sun in Unit Trust. I think it'll be the you understanding. Unit Trust has always been an environment where it has taken me as I am. And I want to do the same. But I think you could only take somebody where they are if you understand how that person is. And once you understand where that person is, the sky is the limit from there. You're not going to change them. You're just going to get them to be exactly who they are in what you're asking them to do.
I love the fact that now I can take investment knowledge and apply it to giving advice to customers to make the best investment decisions for themselves. I am Linda Wilson-Mano. I work in the Advisory Services Department, and come November 15th, I would have worked at the UTC for 24 years. I came to this career path quite accidentally. I was
Good morning, unit holders. We welcome
unit,
Mr. Desmond Noel of the Auditor General's Department, members of the Board of Directors, and the executive team to be seated.
I would say generally, the lesson I've learned is be open to change, adapt to change. Change is happening all the time. Since I've been here 24 years, we've had to adjust, we've had to innovate, we've had to transition, we've had to pivot, and that is going to be what is needed going forward. The world is moving fast. So my advice would be to stay positive. Change will happen, adapt it, and you will see that what looks like a rocky hill, might end up to be the best thing that has happened to you. So I would say just be positive. So I think at least 2 letters suit me best. I would say focused and dependable. But if I had to choose one, I would choose dependable because I do what I say I'm going to do, and most people know that's true.
Keep your money safe, let your money grow. Keep your money safe, let your money grow. You can trust Unit Trust, a institution for every single generation. You can trust Unit Trust. Let us show you how to be wealthy. Come to us. While you sleep, you can grow your money. Unit Trust. Secure your future financially. Unit Trust.
Wherever in the world you're logging from, and welcome to the 42nd Annual General Meeting of the Unit Trust Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago. We're streaming live from the Government Campus Auditorium, just around the corner from the UTC's headquarters here in Port of Spain. I am Danica Williams, team member at the UTC.
And I'm Cedel Molino, also a team member at the UTC. And we will be your online host, keeping you on track virtually with the proceedings in the auditorium. We've come a long way since our first AGM held on the 29th of June 1983 at the Holiday Inn.
That's correct, Cedel. We've also embraced technological change and advancement in the ways that make everything UTC even more accessible to stakeholders. This is our second year using the hybrid format designed to embrace both our in-person attendees and you, our online participants, logging in on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We are also broadcasting live on radio at I-95.5 FM, Taj 92.3 FM, and Power 102.1 FM. Again, welcome to UTC's 42nd AGM. This super hybrid approach was embraced when last year's theme for the AGM was Embracing Transformation.
And Danica, there certainly was more than enough change and transformation to get our arms around in 2023. This year's theme, Empowering Our Future, Unlocking Tomorrow's Potential. So, while the AGM looks at the year gone by, it also is heavily focused on the road ahead. Remember, it still isn't too late to submit any questions you may want answered. Just go to UTC's Facebook page and our online team is ready to respond. Today's AGM is estimated approximately an hour and a half. So Danica, what's on the agenda for today's meeting?
Well, let me tell you, Cedel, today Samantha Best will be hosting the AGM. So at 10 a.m., she will introduce UTC's board members and our main speakers. Following this, Ms. Joanne Julian will present the chairman's review. Mr. Nigel Edwards, our executive director, will open with a strategy review. That will follow Mr. Kerry Mirage will deliver the financial performance report. Mrs. Crystal Rodriguez-Grieve will cover the investment performance. And then we will have Mr. Nicholas Nanton who will discuss the ICT initiatives. And then it's back to Nigel, who will return for the closing remarks. Additionally, we will present a short video on our entrepreneurship initiatives, followed by the Auditor General's report presented by Mr. Desmond Noel, the Acting Assistant Auditor General.
That brings us to the highly anticipated and ever popular question and answer session. So Danica, if our audience has any questions, they can post those as well. And we'll see how many we can get answered.
Great, Cedel. We seem to be ready on the main stage. So it's over to Samantha. We'll see you back here in about 20 minutes. Let's go stage side.
Good morning once again. On behalf of the chairman, members of the board of directors, and the executive director of the Trinidad and Tobago Unit Trust Corporation, I welcome you all to the corporation's 42nd annual general meeting. This AGM is being streamed live on UTC's website at ttutc.com, Facebook, and on Instagram. We are also live on air with Taj 92.3 FM and I-95.5 FM, Power 102.1 FM, and we welcome all our online viewers and listeners. My name is Samantha Best, and I will be your master of ceremonies for today's event. Before we begin the formal proceedings, to ensure your safety and in keeping with the OSHA requirements, we kindly ask that you listen attentively to the safety briefing for this venue.
Welcome to the Government Plaza Auditorium. Your safety is our first priority, and in order to accomplish this, it's essential that you are familiar with our emergency procedures. Bathroom facilities have been provided for you on the 3rd floor. The alarms are both audible and visible. No evacuation drills are planned for the duration of your event. So if the alarm sounds, please treat this as a real emergency event. Your muster point is the Brian Lara Promenade. In the event of an emergency, please evacuate the auditorium immediately by using the nearest emergency exits. Exits are located to the left and right of the stage and on the upper entranceway. Please take a moment to note the exit nearest you. Use the evacuation stairwells only. Do not use the elevators. Follow the directional arrows and signage and proceed out of the building. You are then required to assemble at the Brian Lara Promenade. Do not re-enter the building until instructed to do so. On behalf of the management of the Urban Development Corporation, we trust you will have an enjoyable experience here. Thank you.
I now invite everyone to stand for the national anthem of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Please remain standing as I invite Mr. Stefan de Vloot, Operations Associate, to lead us in prayer.
I'd like us all to bow our heads and close our eyes. Almighty and eternal God, we seek your divine presence this morning as we gather at this venue for our annual general meeting. O Supreme Being, we give thanks to you for bringing us all here safely. May your divine light and might shine upon us all. May your divine virtues of peace, love, happiness, and all your positivity surround us all. O Supreme Being, we give thanks for your guidance, for your protection, and giving us health and strength. You have been with us in the good and not so good times. Father, we seek your blessings upon this entire gathering. Father God, bless the chairman, the board of directors, our team leads, our team members, our valued customers, and all stakeholders alike. We ask that the Unit Trust Corporation continues to be a successful and a safe place for us all. May your grace, guidance, and protection be upon the entire nation at this time, and may your peace and love be with us all. Heavenly Father, we thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. de Vloot. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Just a couple of gentle reminders. There should be no eating or drinking in the auditorium. And we also ask that you please place your mobile phones on mute or silent mode for the duration of the meeting. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Mr. Desmond Noel, Acting Assistant Auditor General, Ms. Joanne Julian, Chairman of the Trinidad and Tobago Unit Trust Corporation, Mr. Nigel Edwards, Executive Director of the Trinidad and Tobago Unit Trust Corporation, Directors of the Trinidad and Tobago Unit Trust Corporation, Mr. Anthony John Joseph, Mr. Dirk Smith, Ms. Ann Joseph, Ms. Faye Lopez Collymore, Mr. Chip Sagomes, Mr. Robert Green, Ms. Charmaine Caballero, Mr. Stephen Alampoon, Mr. Bravard Nelson, Mr. Brent Ford, General Counsel and Corporate Secretary, Ms. Ayana McGowan. Our presenters, Mr. Kerry Maharaj, Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Cristel Rodriguez Greaves, Chief Investment Officer, Mr. Nicholas Nathan, Chief Information Officer, Enterprise Leadership Team, distinguished unit holders, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this year's AGM is Empowering Our Future, Unlocking Tomorrow's Potential. This theme, and I quote from Executive Director Nigel Edwards, personifies our aspirations, encompassing not only our quest for business expansion, but also our steadfast dedication to fostering growth and prosperity for all. End quote. I would now like to warmly invite to the lectern Chairman Ms. Joanne Julian to deliver the welcome address. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Joanne Julian.
Thank you, Samantha. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Desmond Noel, representative of the Auditor General's Office, members of the board, Executive Director, Nigel Edwards, our General Counsel, Ayana McGowan, the Enterprise Leadership Team, distinguished unit holders, all of you here, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to everyone today, including our online listeners and viewers. Thank you for joining Unit Trust Corporation's 42nd Annual General Meeting. I am delighted to report another year of solid results, with funds under management, and I pause, now totaling 24.5 billion TT dollars, and a 19% increase in total distribution payments to you all. Your Unit Trust Corporation continues to provide strong performance and is well positioned for future success in 2024 and beyond. We have stayed true to our mandate. When the Unit Trust started operations more than 40 years ago, we had a clear mandate to create wealth for everyone. That focus has not changed. And it is also why we are expanding our investment footprint into the wider Caribbean, bringing new opportunities to investors in the region. With this in mind, and in the ever-evolving economic landscape of the Caribbean, it is essential for us to work together to enhance regional integration and cooperation. This collaboration is crucial for fostering inclusive growth and ensuring that all communities benefit from economic development. In 2022, we outlined to you our vision for expanding our regional footprint. And happily, in 2023, we set about bringing that vision to life in earnest. What did we do? This included the commencement of a joint venture partnership in Jamaica with the Giants Grace Kennedy, as well as the establishment of the UTC Global Balanced Fund in the Eastern Caribbean. The latter promoting regional financial inclusivity and investment opportunities across the entire Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. At the first share sale event for the UTC Global Balance Fund held in St. Lucia in 2023, I recalled the words of Sir Dwight Venner, the former governor of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union and a man who was passionate about regional integration, who said in a speech he delivered in 2003, "The solution to our problems lie in the closest possible integration of the Caribbean countries." I think this is one of those statements that actually improves with repetition, so I'll say it again. The solution to our problems lies in the closest possible integration of Caribbean countries. That sentiment echoes today, and it resonates with us at the Unit Trust, as the Caribbean is home to all of us. As enunciated in the launch in St. Lucia, the UTC has always had a simple mission: to provide financial opportunities and create avenues for wealth creation for a diverse range of people. We feel we are now positioned and well on the way to achieving this mission, lifting the prospects of the OECS and by extension, the entire region. We will continue to explore future expansions and synergies of collaboration across the Caribbean, unlocking the regional's full potential for shared prosperity and growth. So we look to the future. We look forward to continued regional growth, and we do seek to also empower domestic growth outside of our traditional business. We do this through the UTC Foundation. We continue to work with building and fostering meaningful development of the communities in which we work. We are dedicated to creating a positive impact in those communities that we serve every day through initiatives such as our SCA scholarship program, free financial literacy seminars, staff volunteering participation in environmental initiatives. And that's just to name a few. And to the board. At this time, I wish to acknowledge our outgoing directors, Ms. Nalisha Bali and Mr. Douglas Camacho, whose terms on the board ended in June and in December 2023, respectively. And I take this opportunity to express the board's gratitude for their valuable contributions, and also to welcome two new board members, Mr. Anthony Joseph and Mr. Brent Ford. Anthony and Brent, welcome to your first AGM. I wish to also mention the reappointments to the board of the following directors: Mr. Chipsa Gomes, Ms. Charmaine Caballero, Mr. Robert Green, Mr. Stephen Alampoon, Mr. Brevin Nelson, all of whom have generously agreed to continue to serve, and for which I personally am indeed appreciative. And I look forward to their continued support, their insights, and their expertise. Let's look ahead. We recognize that our unit holders, you, play a pivotal role in our success. And it is your trust and your support that have allowed us to thrive in a competing business landscape. Our commitment is to maintain a clear and forward-thinking strategic plan that prioritizes an unwavering dedication to our unit holders. We do this by the use of innovation, adapting to changing market dynamics, and continued prudent financial management. I know you thought there were many papers, but I'm actually coming to the end. So, on behalf of the Board of Directors, and on behalf of the Trinidad and Tobago Corporation team, some of whom you see here, I say to you, our valuable unit holders, we are deeply indebted to you for continuing your journey with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Julian, for giving such an insightful address. At this time, we would like to invite to the lectern Mr. Nigel Edwards, Executive Director, to present the opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the Executive Director.
Thank you, Samantha, and good morning. Mr. Desmond Noel, representative of the Auditor General's Office, members of the board, General Counsel and Corporate Secretary, the Enterprise Leadership Team, distinguished unit holders all, members of the media, and ladies and gentlemen. I stand here with great pleasure and, of course, with the usual gratitude that I welcome you once again to today's annual general meeting. I have to say once again, it's a great feeling being here in person, and of course, to those who are not able to join us with the limited seating, those online, we welcome you just as warmly as we welcome those in the hall. We have seen some challenges in the financial landscape over the last couple of years. And despite those challenges, or perhaps even because of those challenges, the resilience of UTC's well-constructed portfolios and the expertise of our investment professionals remained instrumental in driving long-term performance and value. As a reminder, the UTC was formed in 1982 based on nothing more than an idea at that time that the unit trust today represents the fruition of. That unit trust that is here, that we are reporting on today, is at the same time the largest asset management company in the Caribbean, and it is also uniquely built to provide asset management services to even the smallest investor. And we will never lose sight of the importance of bringing together small amounts of individual wealth and creating the largest investment opportunities for all our investors. To put things in perspective, when comparing the distribution paid to our unit holders in 2023 with the dividends paid by companies listed on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, the UTC has emerged as one of the top 5 companies in terms of dividends being paid to the investors. I thought everybody would stop and applaud at that point. Thank you. You can see the results here. As such, our unit holders benefited from a total of $322 million in dividend payouts, an increase of 19% over that paid in 2022. In 2024, we've continued the trend. For the first quarter, our distribution to unit holders increased by 44% from $59 million in Q1 of 2023 to $85 million in Q1 of 2024. Thank you. Over the past year, we've made significant efforts to modernize our technology platform to meet demands that you, our unit holders, legitimately have in this evolving world. First thing I should say is that we're not there. We're not near finished. But we remain committed to continuous improvement, ensuring that our systems and that our tools are always at the forefront of innovation to better serve your financial needs. And we know that the technological changes that we've been making have brought some challenges to how we serve you. And I give you my personal assurance and the assurance of our team that we're working through all of these challenges systematically. And we're also focused on building enhanced cybersecurity defenses to ensure that your finances, and more importantly, perhaps your data, remain protected from the many threats that we all face. You'll hear a little bit more on our technology shortly from our Chief Information Officer, Nicholas Nanton. In 2023, we made significant strides, as our chairman mentioned, in our regional expansion strategy. At the official launch of our joint venture with the GK Capital Markets Limited, we unveiled 3 new mutual funds in Jamaica, all designed to be attractive for institutional and individuals alike. In May of 2023, we followed that up with a launch of the UTC Global Balance Fund in St. Lucia, a true landmark for the region, as it was the first retail collective investment scheme to be made available to investors across the entire Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Another first for TTUTC. Thank you. These expansions are inherently tied to our mandate and mission to promote widespread financial well-being and enhance capital markets in the region. A few years ago, out of a desire to develop new economic activity on a wider scale, we set about to spur entrepreneurial activity, starting in Trinidad and Tobago. As you may know, many studies have shown that micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises provide significant contributions to GDP, to employment. But there is a challenge because these companies also face significant hurdles to innovate and to invest and to grow their businesses. To help bridge this gap, we implemented a partnership model that connects the private, public, and academic sectors. And so this included government agencies like the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, included academic institutions such as the University of the West Indies and UE Ventures. And it also included business growth experts such as entrepreneurship policy advisors. And this framework introduced by us has helped businesses to scale their growth, support their vision, and redefine their possibilities. Through Scale Up Trinidad and Tobago, we have so far supported over 30 medium-sized companies that employ collectively over 1,200 employees. And via Entrepreneur Plus, we're giving tangible support to our entrepreneurs every step of the way, from the initial spark of an idea to them expanding into global markets. So with those brief comments, I'll take the opportunity to hand over to our CFO, Chief Financial Officer, Kerry Maraj, and he will take you through our financial performance for 2023.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Nigel. So, firstly, let me start by thanking my marketing team for the picture that they used for me. It was a throwback. I think they preferred the version when I was young and handsome. I prefer it too. Okay, so I'm not going to be long. I only have 5 short slides. So I want to start off first by talking about the net income results of the Unit Trust Corporation. Net income, another word for it would be net profit. No business can survive in the long term if they're loss-making. As you could see from the chart, over the last 4 years, we've had a consistent level of profitability, and it demonstrates that your business, your money is being well and responsibly managed. Secondly, I want to draw your attention to the equity position of the corporation. So what is equity? It is the sum over time, so in this case over the last 40 years, of the accumulated profits of the corporation. We are currently standing at a position of $1.7 billion, an increase from 2020 of $1.5 billion. And this is the base that we will be using to invest for your future needs. Now, obviously, as Nigel and the chairman would have mentioned, one of our objectives would be to increase our distributions to you. Distributions means that you give us money to invest for you, and you expect a return from it. Now, during 2020 and 2021, those were the pandemic years, so there was a slight decline over those 2 years, or from 2020 to 2021. But since then, you've noticed that it's continuing to increase. It's moved from 232 million to 325 million. Now, just a point on the 325 million. You would notice that we would have been publishing a figure of 322 million. So just note that that represents the actual amounts paid to you, whereas the 325 million includes amounts due but not yet paid. But of that total number, let's bring it a little bit closer to you as individual investors. So let's say that you would have invested in any of the 2 large funds that we have, whether that's the TT Income Fund or the US Income Fund. So you would have noticed in the case of the TT Income Fund, that's the red line at the top, we would, over the last 3 years, have moved from 140 million to 157 million. So if you are invested in the TT Income Fund, you should have been noticing that increase year over year. Similarly, in the US Income Fund, it would have moved from 38 million in 2021 to 68 million in 2023. Now, the last slide would be assets under management. Now, we're showing two things on this slide, so let me just break it down first. So the red bars would be the total assets under management. Now, what is that? That is the accumulation of all the money that you have given to the unit trust to invest for you. Now, you'd notice from 2020 to 2021, there was an increase from 23 billion to 24.9 billion, and then a small decline to 24.5 billion in 2023. So let's understand that. So assets under management would change for two reasons mainly. One, you would give money to us, which you should always do. Or it could change because you withdraw money from the unit fund, the unit trust, which you should never do. But then we take these funds and we invest it. Now, one of the ways that we could invest it would be, for example, in the shares of companies. So let's say companies listed on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange. Let's say banks, for example. Now, we don't invest for the short term, we invest for the long term. But over the short term period, those prices could increase or decrease. Now, what the line graph is showing you, and those are the numbers represented to the right, it's an index published by the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, which is called the TT Composite Index. Now, that is really a representation of where the prices of all of the stocks listed on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, how it would have moved over those years. So you would notice from 2021 to 2023, those prices have been coming down slightly, and that is one of the reasons why your assets under management would have declined marginally over those 3 years. The message is, however, that your confidence in the unit trust remains strong, and we hope that that remains so. So thank you all very much. With that, I'll hand you over to Crystal.
Thank you, Kerry. A pleasant good morning to everyone. It is my pleasure this morning to take you through a recap of the 2023 performance of your investments. So this morning, I would seek to provide a clear picture of what happened in the financial markets last year and how this contributed to improved returns on your performance last year. So let's get into it. So I have highlighted here 4 of our most widely held mutual funds, which will be the Growth and Income Fund, the Universal Retirement Fund, the TT Dollar Income Fund, the US Dollar Income Fund. I'm sure all of you here have at least one of these mutual funds in your portfolio, and hopefully after today you'll understand the benefits of having all 4 within your investment portfolio. So at the top, I've highlighted 4 of the key investment types that the portfolios hold. So firstly, local stocks, which Kerry just explained, which will be our holdings of companies that are listed on the local and regional stock exchanges. International stocks, stocks listed in the US and other international exchanges. Local and international fixed income, which will represent monies that we lend to the government agencies, corporates, and for which in return we receive an interest coupon. So you would see for the Growth and Income Fund and the URF, those hold all 4 investment types. So that being said, what happens in the stock market and with interest rates will impact the performance of those 2 funds. The other 2 funds are fixed income funds, so those will be heavily dependent on what happens with interest rates. So let's take a look at what happened in 2023. So we see here in the US markets, they had a great year. The S&P 500, which measures the performance of the top 500 companies in the US, was up 24%. Here locally at home, we didn't fare as well. on our local stock exchange, the companies listed on that exchange fell by 9.8%. In terms of interest rates in the US, you would see here we have highlighted the US Fed funds rate. And this is essentially the interest rate used by the US Central Bank to contain inflation. Most of you would know post-COVID, the US has been battling high inflation. So the US Central Bank, also known as the Fed, has increased that rate by 1% in 2023. As a result, we've seen improved returns and rates on US fixed income securities. Here at home, the equivalent of that rate is called the repo rate. And here we did not face the same challenges with inflation. So our rate has remained consistent over 2023. So we have seen marginal changes in TT interest rates. So how did this impact your investment portfolios? So we're happy to share that compared to 2022, where we announced declines in both the URF and the Growth and Income Fund, we're happy to share that the returns are back in positive territory, up 0.1% and up 0.2% respectively. Now remember, both of these funds have heavy investments in the local stock exchange, and as we just showed, that was down 9.8%. So the returns from the other holdings in international equities as well as fixed income would have negated some of those losses. On the fixed income side, also happy to share that the returns are up on both funds. The TT Dollar Income Fund with a return of 1.38% and the US Dollar Income Fund up 1.44%. As Kerry and Nigel and the chair would have mentioned, we're also happy to share that the distributions that we have paid on these three distributing funds have increased year over year. So you would have noticed the increased distribution payouts. Now, every year we have a responsibility here to share with you the return on the portfolios for that particular year. Some years it's positive, some years it's negative, but we are happy to share that over the past 5 years, when we look at the performance, all of our portfolios listed here have produced positive returns. So the Growth and Income Fund has been up over 13%, the URF over 14%, and both the TTD and USDIF also positive. So despite the volatility displayed over the past few years, the returns continue to be positive. And we hope that this demonstrates the power of long-term investing. So in closing, I just want to thank you for your continued trust in us managing your investment portfolios. And you could be assured that we will continue to manage the portfolios optimally to derive the best returns to you. So I'm now going to hand you over to my colleague, Nicholas Stanton. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. My colleague Crystal did an excellent job extemporating everything from memory, but I have some notes here. So you will bear with me because I'm going to refer to the notes from time to time. So I want to start with our digital transformation journey over the last few years. It's been a journey that really began in earnest in 2017. And at that point in time, we really took a look at ourselves, and we understood that while our in-house developed applications had served us very well over the first 40 years of our existence, the truth is that in order to meet the demands of the next 40 years and to continue to provide innovative solutions that meet and exceed your expectations, we really had to evolve the technology. So what you're seeing here today, technology evolution. But not done yet. I'm very pleased to announce that we are currently beta testing our mobile app and asking for, and will very shortly be available for download in the Google and iOS app stores. And this is just a sneak peek of what it looks like. But I also want to talk about not just the customer-facing technology investments that we've made, but also on the internal side, what we do to optimize and be more efficient with how we work and how we serve financial needs. So one of the applications that we have developed in-house is this UTC customer map. And what that is about is that, in order for us to meet you where you are, we need to know where you are. And, the easiest way to do it is put it on a map, and it's very visual. I'm a guy, I'm a town boy, grew up in town. Anything past the lighthouse is south for me. So it's hard for me when I'm talking to the Point 14 team to visualize what they're talking about. It's very simple for me to just click and zoom in and see. Right? And then, when I think about the mission and the mandate, which is to grow wealth for all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, I look at the numbers. We talk about 500,000 unit holders, but Nigel always tells us to dream big. And we're dreaming big about how do we get to 1.5 million customers. And this is one of the ways that we do it, by seeing where our customers are and where potential customers are. So I just want to take us back real quickly to the mission and the mandate, and how I see technology moving us in that direction. And basically, no matter where you are in your investment journey, the reasons that for all of us are really very much the same. It's to grow your money, reach your financial goals, save for retirement, save for your kids' education. And what do customers want from providers of investment services? They want access to investment experts, both digital and human, who advise on their goals, total visibility of the funds in real time, and having the most relevant information presented in a digestible way. And I want to talk a little bit more about the digital and the human, because the truth is that the technology investments we're making is not to drive you only to online. Some people are comfortable with online. Some people are comfortable coming into the branch. We want to serve both sets of customers equally well. But the point is, if you're comfortable being online and doing business 100% online with us, then we want to have that functionality. So again, if I just go back to the mission and the mandate and how we serve all our customers, 500 team members, 500,000 customers. Hopefully, very soon, we'll be talking about 1.5 million customers. Now, if you just do the maths, that means 3,000 customers to every team member. That's a big number. Very hard to have an individual, personalized relationship with 3,000 people. I find it hard to do it with my own kids. I have 8. So, imagine 3,000. The technology really allows us to be a force multiplier, though, so that we could have that one-on-one relationship with you. So some of us, if I were to draw an analogy, some of us are very disciplined with our diet and exercise programs, right? I am not one of those. I have a personal trainer that helps me. Because if I don't have that personal trainer, I'm not going to stay on track. And I think the same is true for your financial personal program. And I like to think of Unit Trust as your personal financial trainer. And what I see the technology doing going forward in the future is keeping you on track, helping you set your goals, track your goals, give you alerts, letting you know you're doing well. Hey, Nick, you hit 10% of your goal, you hit 15%, keep you motivated, or give you an alert when you go off track. I love to have a cheat day, more cheat days than I'm supposed to have, so a little alert that tells you, okay, Nick, you're not trending well here. You need to keep on track, stay focused with your financial goals. So I'm just showing these numbers here. I know Kerry would have talked about it, Crystal and Nigel, but I really just wanted to show the numbers here, and just from a personal story, me, myself, and my financial journey. So I've been with the corporation 3 years now, but I've been a technology guy my whole life. And and it's only 3 years in the financial services industry, so I'm trying very hard to understand all the lingo. And some things fly over my head, right? But when I think about all the numbers that are floating around me every day, one of the things that really fascinates me the most is the 12 billion in the TT Income Fund and 5 billion in the Growth and Income Fund. And I think if we do our job well over the next few years, we will reverse that number. And what do I mean? I mean that we'll have maybe 12 billion in the Growth and Income Fund and 5 billion in the TT Income Fund. And the way I want to illustrate that is just looking at the returns. If you look at the returns, the numbers are clear. If you had put $10,000 in the Growth and Income Fund in 2013, it would be worth $12,000, $12,200 at the end of 2023. If you did the same thing in the TT Income Fund, it would be worth $11,000. So why wouldn't you put it in the Growth and Income Fund? If you did it at the start in 1983, you put $10,000, it would now be worth $120,000 plus. That's a significant story, right? And when I look at the data of our customers, we have customers who have invested with us 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 20, 25 in the TT Income Fund, but not in the Growth and Income Fund. And I ask myself why, if the data is so clear. And if I think about me personally, I know why. It's fear. It's a little bit of discomfort. I'm a very conservative person. And when I look at those numbers, what Crystal was talking about, with the NAV and the numbers going up and down, I get frightened. I say, you see that? My money jumping up in a band? I good. I gonna stay in the TT Income Fund, stay in my lane, and be conservative. But the truth is, if you think that we're doing a good job, and you're confident in what we're doing, and you're comfortable leaving your money with us 15, 20 years, then the truth is you would really have gotten better returns if you left it in the Growth and Income Fund rather than the TT Income Fund. So I'm just making a plug here to say that if you're investing over the long term, the Growth and Income Fund is the fund for you. So I just want to wrap up here and say that, you know, this technology transformation journey that we've been going on is, you know, there have been some bumps on the road. It hasn't been all smooth sailing. We acknowledge that. We recognize that. Not going to gloss over it. But at the same time, we need to understand where we came from. And the truth is that we had 40 years of data, 800,000 customer accounts on our old legacy system. We had to move that over to the new system. That was a massive, massive undertaking by any stretch of the imagination. We continue to stay technology and customer focused, continue to make improvements to the technology, improvements to the infrastructure to ensure performance and availability, and of course, can't talk more about security by design, security up front, robust cybersecurity policies and infrastructure and monitoring for protection of your data. So I want to thank you for your patience and understanding during this period of change where we implement the new technologies. Rest assured we're working overtime around the clock to make sure that it works perfectly. But this is all with you in mind to better serve you and meet your needs. Thank you, Partners for Life.
Thank you very much, Kerry, Crystal, and of course, Nick, who you may realize is putting in a strong post to replace Jason Scott, our Chief Sales and Marketing Officer. But you know, so I know it's getting on, but I really do want to celebrate the fact that we have a truly excellent team. Last year was the first year that we experimented, or tried displaying some of our team, and I just want to say again, this is a fantastic way for you to meet the team and to see the depth and caliber of the team that we have. So thank you, everyone. So having said that, I do want to take the opportunity to share the new additions to our strategic leadership team. This year, Crystal, who you just heard from, assumed the role of Chief Investment Officer effective December 1st, 2023. Prior to that, she was the Chief Risk Officer. And Crystal spearheads the strategic direction of our funds under management, and she brings, believe it or not, over 20 years of leadership experience to her role. Ayana McGowan, who's in the front row, assumed the role of General Counsel and Corporate Secretary effective January 1st of this year. And Ayana manages the corporation's corporate governance, legislative, and regulatory compliance and advises both our local and overseas operations. She too has over 25 years experience. Dale Bain, who I saw, I didn't even recognize Dale. Dale is wearing his GQ face today. Dale is our Chief Risk Officer. He started in that role on April 26th of this year. And Dale provides strategic leadership to the Enterprise Risk Management and Compliance Division, and he oversees the risk management and compliance frameworks. He too has over 20 years of combined leadership and technical experience. Team UTC is the beating heart that keeps the organization humming along. And of course, while we are here, most of our 511 colleagues are at our various locations, serving those of you who are not here with us today. And I'm immensely grateful for the dedication, for the drive of all our 511 employees. And so I do want to take this opportunity to say a thank you to every single one of UTC's employees. Thank you, team. We intend to continue the good work that has been done on multiple fronts, all with a focus on creating a better experience for you, our unit holders. In this uncertain world, we understand the value of strong relationships that are built on trust. And our commitment is to find ways to bring value to you with every step of your investment journey and as your partners for life. Thank you from all of us for your unstinting support, and thank you for your trust and your belief in a shared vision that has brought us this far. As I close, I'm excited to share an inspiring video with you, and this video offers a glimpse into the mindset of entrepreneurs who have been participating in both our Scale Up TT and Entrepreneur Plus initiatives. It showcases their determination, their creativity, and innovative thinking, providing valuable insights into their journey as entrepreneurs. Please, cast your eyes on the screen, and I thank you.
I recognized that I was doing pretty decent work across the Caribbean region and that there was lots more to do. However, I was essentially more or less a one-man show, so working 16, 18-hour days and still not being able to accomplish what I thought I could achieve many years ago when I started the company.
I started EcoWash because I lost my job due to COVID, so I was unemployed for 8 months and I needed to pay my bills and my loans and so forth. So after 8 months, I decided I need to start some entrepreneurial venture to survive. And it has blossomed into something beautiful by providing employments for other persons, not only empowering them, but empowering their families and communities by working with us.
I think one of the biggest challenges of having a business in the Caribbean is knowledge sharing. That sense of sharing business ideas and, bouncing off ideas around persons who have that similar experience. I think the Scale Up TT program created a safe space where business owners could share concepts, share ideas, but not feel threatened that this person might, use it in their own way. It brought about a sense of inspiration rather than competition.
In terms of challenges that entrepreneurs face, especially tech entrepreneurs in the country, financing without too many strings attached, so we're not accounting for the cost of a pencil and a pen in terms of the administrative overheads in doing technology, is something that is novel in our landscape here that Youpreneur Plus program has offered. And I can say with full self-assurance that that represents an entity that I would recommend to any other tech entrepreneur to access and avail themselves of.
In terms of how the Scale Up program bridged the gap between my initial vision and to where I am today, it essentially showed me what I needed to do to ensure that a business is successful. So, for example, it's not about the managing director slaving on his own. It's about teamwork. It's about structuring your plans, things like understanding your client, understanding money, understanding the human resources, the importance of human resources, and tying your human resources to the actual business that you are attempting to be successful in.
I started with one branch at C3 Center. I was very comfortable with it. I wanted one branch, it was small, it was manageable, and I was very happy. But through Youpreneur Plus, I understood, expansion is possible, growing, scaling, having greater impact by employing more youths is very much possible. So it gave me the confidence to actually expand the business to open additional branches.
The Youpreneur Plus program from a business perspective assists me in terms of my business model, because I'm what you would call a serial inventor or a serial tech developer, where if we talk about this battery alchemist product for hybrid electric vehicle batteries, I'm not in the business of selling the product. I'm in the business of supporting other businesses. So in terms of a business-to-business relationship, the Youpreneur Plus program provides guidance and support in terms of that structure so that that type of licensing arrangement can be established, and then that will support my business going forward into the future.
I think the Scale Up program taught us as business owners our self-worth, that what we were doing, what we were ideating was special, and if we didn't believe it, then why are we here? It allowed us to tell our story and put our product and services out there and really reinforce and support it through, understanding the why of why we were doing what we're doing, why we were selling this to our customers. And that was a really good discovery process for us and our company.
Let's again take a moment to appreciate the dedication and hard work that goes into supporting our local entrepreneurs. This is a testament to UTC's vision for a thriving, dynamic business environment in Trinidad and Tobago. And also thank you to the members of the executive team for those astute presentations on last year's performance of the corporation. I will now introduce Mr. Desmond Noel, Acting Assistant Auditor General, to deliver the Auditor General's report.
Good morning. Report of the Auditor General, Ms. Jaiwanti Ramdas, dated the 27th of March, 2024. To the Board of Directors, Trinidad and Tobago Unit Trust Corporation. Report of the Auditor General of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago on the consolidated financial statements of the Trinidad and Tobago Unit Trust Corporation for the year ended 31st December 2023. Opinion. The consolidated financial statements of the Trinidad and Tobago Unit Trust Corporation, the corporation, for the year ended 31st December 2023 have been audited. The statements, as set out on pages 1 to 96 comprise a consolidated statement of financial position as at 31st December 2023, and the consolidated statement of profit or loss, a consolidated statement of comprehensive income, a consolidated statement of changes in equity, and a consolidated statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and notes to the consolidated financial statements numbered 1 to 34, including a summary of material accounting policies. 2. In my opinion, the accompanying consolidated financial statements present fairly, in all material respects, the consolidated financial position of the Trinidad and Tobago Unit Trust Corporation as at 31st December 2023, and of its consolidated financial performance and its consolidated cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with international financial reporting standards. Basis for opinion. 3. The audit was conducted in accordance with the principles and concepts of International Standards of Supreme Audit Institutions, ESIS. The Auditor General's responsibility under those standards are further described in the Auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements section of this report. The Auditor General is independent of the corporation in accordance with the ethical requirements that are relevant to the audit of the consolidated financial statements, and other ethical responsibilities have been fulfilled in accordance with these requirements. It is my view that the audit evidence obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for my opinion. That's there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Noel, and the Auditor General's Office for that report, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We have now arrived at the question and answer segment, where we give you, our unit holders, an opportunity to ask your questions and share your feedback. Just a few guidelines before we proceed. We have allocated 15 minutes for this session.
42nd AGM, coming to you live from Government Campus in Port of Spain, here in Trinidad and Tobago.
We're here outside the auditorium, where the first part of the program has just been concluded. An exciting morning indeed, Sadell. Lots to talk about when we get back to the office tomorrow. These were the highlights of the morning. We had Mr. Nigel Edwards, our Executive Director, spoke about our regional expansion. And guys, the UTC app, it's on its way.
And our entrepreneurship initiatives are really working to develop that ecosystem. Now, we move on to the segment 3, the question and answer segment, where I'm sure the audience in attendance will certainly share their thoughts and questions on UTC's performance over the last year. Finally, we'll have a short closing video based on this year's theme, Empowering Our Future, Unlocking Tomorrow's Potential. Now, it's back to Samantha.
Part of your portfolio currently or will be in the near future? If we could have someone from the panel respond.
Thank you. Crystal has assigned me to answer that question. It's red, which I'm guessing means it's not on. I'm not sure where the switch is.
You just wanted to make that.
Yeah. So cryptocurrencies is not part of our current investment strategy. I will start by saying that cryptocurrencies may be part of a valid strategy for some investors. It's not a part of what we believe to be a stable investment portfolio for our investors. Our investors have a primary concern about, yes, they want some capital appreciation, but with capital preservation, meaning you want to ensure that the funds that you put in will be there the year after. So as Nick pointed out, if you leave your funds in for 7, 10, 15 years, you want to make sure that it's continually growing. The volatility or the ups and downs associated with cryptocurrency doesn't give us that assurance. And so it's not part of our immediate, nor is it part of our immediate future consideration for investment in our portfolios.
Thank you very much. Question number 2 from our online audience. When will the UTC app become available? You all addressed it in the previous AGM, and to date, nothing came into fruition.
Yeah, so I think Nick did point to that one, that it is in fact in beta testing. Beta testing is an indication that, I would say days, but then the next thing somebody will tell me 365 is a number of days as well. But I think, Nick, it's fair to say, certainly within the next 1 to 2. I was going to say 2 months, but all right. So let me go with my conservative estimate that by July, you will have your app in the Android and Apple stores and iOS stores. So by July, you'll have the app in the stores.
Thank you very much. A question from the audience.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. To the board of Unit Trust. My name is Victor Sew, Unit Trust holder. Very good customer. Since 1982. I just have 3 questions. Very small. But what it is I want for you to recommend and ask you all if you could have an AGM in San Fernando. Because I live in quite Princestown, and I had to leave home quite 5:30, come to San Fernando to catch a bus to reach up here. Number 2 question is, when we call San Fernando, we're not getting through with them. We have how do you call it again? Our email address. I didn't know nothing about this AGM except when my friend told me about it. And next thing, we get false information about when it's customer service. When we call, they tell them we to come on the 30th, and they have it on the 29th. Please do something about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Seal.
All right, so I actually heard 2 questions, so I'm not sure if there's a third, but let me deal with the first one. AGM in San Fernando, certainly take it. I was just whispering to our chair earlier that we do need to look at other venues, and so we'll certainly take that into consideration, whether it's for next year or perhaps a year near in the future. So thanks for that suggestion, and we'll absolutely take it into consideration. So I think maybe I probably merged your 2 questions into one, because I thought the question about being able to reach San Fernando and the AGM might have been one. But on the question about being able to reach San Fernando, I'm going to ask you or ask one of our representatives outside to reach out to you right afterwards, because you ought not to be having any problems at all reaching San Fernando. So I want them to come talk to you directly and make sure that you have contact in San Fernando. All right. So, and then the third one on the notice of the AGMs, we'll continue to do better with that. We do publish the AGM notice in the newspaper. That's the surest way to ensure that people are aware of it. So I'm not sure if that general murmur means no, we didn't publish it in the newspaper, but I'm pretty sure that we did. Yes. All right. So it's affirmation that yes, we did publish it. The second thing I was going to say is that we also seek to publish on our website, and I understand that not everybody will go to the website, but we do try to blanket the country with the information about the AGM. So whether it's in the press, on the website, via email, please ensure that when the person comes to you, ensure that they have your updated email address. We do announce it on the radio as well. So it's all right. So you understand. The point being, it is blanketed. But I understand some people may not hear it, so we do want to make sure that if we're missing you, that we have your email address so that you get the information first time. All right?
Thank you very much, Mr. Edwards. Again, we're inviting a question from the audience, and if we could keep questions to one question or comment per person, although I know Mr. Steele did express some sentiments that many of you may have had. Thank you very much. Another question, please.
Good morning, Samde Haricharan. All right, all due respect to the speaker, but it has been my experience. I have some money in the Growth and Income Fund. For the longest while, over 10 years, 15 years, and I have not really seen about $8,000, and more or less it's staying the same. So, I don't know, but kind of disagreeing with what the speaker said about it has grown a lot. But I could probably go and check again, but in my experience, it has not moved from that balance. Thank you.
All right, so now whenever there's a murmur, I always try to be like a stand-up comedian now and ask the crowd what's happening. So I'm not sure what that murmur means if they're responding to you. Over the last 7 years, the return on the Growth and Income Fund collectively has been 7.2%, just from my memory. I hope, and I will double check that, right? But if you want us to take a look at your statements with you, we're happy to help you to look at the statements. The last 2 years in particular have not, and Kerry pointed that out in his slides, as did Crystal. The last 2 years have been down years, led by the fact that the stock exchange in Trinidad and Tobago has had consecutive down years. In the last really good year for the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange was, I think, in 2021. Recovering from COVID, we did just over 13%. The stock exchange returned just over 13%. In that year, the Growth and Income Fund also returned about 13.9%. So again, I would be happy to take a look at your statements. Our team outside is waiting to deal with individual customer issues, and they're happy to look at your statements to help you to understand and interpret it. Yeah? Thank you.
Thank you once again. Another question from the audience, please.
Good morning. My name is Maria Laidlow.
Yes, please.
I don't know if I'm not in control. He has to hold it up, he says. On my way here from court, I was so happy that my matter finished that I could come here. And I'm hearing all the kudos on the way and the congratulations. And I also wish to congratulate the Unit Trust for its improvement, continued improvement. And, but I must say that there's always room for improvement. There's the biggest room. And the chairman and director would know that. Now, I speak here not only on my own behalf, but on behalf of the number of lawyers who are dissatisfied with the Unit Trust Act, Section 40, 1 and 2, which precludes members of staff of the unit trust revealing to a lawyer information about a unit holder's status. For example, if you are a lawyer and you are applying for an estate and you don't know how many units the deceased had, the unit trust cannot tell you unless that information has come only to a nominee. If the nominee has died, as in the case that I had, or there's no nominee, you can't get that information. Now you must remember that you get now statements online, and elderly people cannot read and do not deal with that. Also, if you have 550-something people who are unit holders, some of them must be mentally challenged. So if you want to bring an application to the Mental Health Act for the care of that person, and you as a lawyer write to the unit trust, you can't get that information. So if you write to a credit union, if you write to a bank, if you write to a friendly society, they can all give you information. But the Unit Trust Act says, oh no, I can't give you that information. Now, this very august body must realize the hardship that it causes, because if the Mental Health Act says, you must give details of the person's income, because you want somebody to handle the affairs of that mentally challenged person. Somebody may have dementia. Where are you going? If it is that you are, that the unit holder is deceased, that person has no nominee, you will not reveal that to a lawyer as the other financial institutions. That is causing no end of problems, and I am saying, please, look at amending section 41 and 2 of the Act. It's not doing any harm. You don't trust us lawyers? I don't think so.
Ms. Thompson, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your contribution. If we may have someone from the panel address.
Senator Thompson, I'm not going to respond to your last question. I will say that you started by saying this is a provision within the existing TT-UTC Act. We don't have first-hand control over amendments to the Act. We can and we will make representations to make appropriate changes to the Act, and you have our word that we will. No, you're not. We're not doing it in accordance with your desired pace, but I promise you, we'll give it the attention that you so. On behalf of all the attorneys, both present and outside, they send their thanks for your very spirited question today. So we'll pursue it.
Thank you. Another question.
Good morning. My name is Maria Laidlow. I hear you spoke about doing online transaction. Are we going to have it as all the other institutions where if you are not online, that you were going to charge a fee to come face to face?
The simple answer to that is no. I think Nicholas was very clear in describing our approach to technology, that what we are building out is a platform that allows you to use technology, to use the online ways to interface with us if that's your preference. But we're also building it in such a way that if your preference is to come into our institutions, that we also make it easier for you to transact within our branches, and to continue for those transacting with the organization to be free of fees.
Thank you again, Mr. Edwards. So we're coming closer to the close of our question and answer segment, and we would like to take 2 more questions from the audience. Disclaimer here, 2 more questions, as in 1 question from separate persons. Thank you.
Pleasant afternoon. Pleasant day to all. all protocols observed. Stanley Jones in name. I just want to give commendations to Mr. Gerard Penny. He's the face of the Unit Trust Port of Spain. Ms. Jillian Sahadat, she's very, very helpful at that same branch. And finally, Ms. Sampson, she is one of the make the arrangements of the car park assistance and so on. One short question. I was overseas for the last AGM. I just wanted to know with respect to the PIN card situation, why is it, because other financial institutions don't have that arrangement, and Unit Trust, for some strange perspective, they're issuing to the holders a PIN, and I find that very strange in this climate and this time of card fraud and so on. Could that be addressed? Thank you.
Yes, thank you for that. And that's, so we've outsourced our cards management business as of last year. Nick, you want to, all right, please.
So actually, that is one of the #1 things we're working on to allow you to pin your card at the ATM. Our chip and pin solution is in partnership with First Citizens Bank, and we're working very closely with them. We're actually testing that feature right now. And I want to say that, again, conservatively, within the next 2 months, you'll be able to pin your card at the ATM for yourself. Set your own pin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nanton. Our final question from the audience, please.
Hi, morning. My name is Sharon Clark. I would like to know if you all have, or in the future, will you have a Visa debit card?
We do have a Visa debit card, one on the TT, one for the TT account, TT Income Fund, and a Visa debit card for the US Income Fund as well. That already exists.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edwards, and thank you very much to our audience for your enthusiastic participation. A round of applause. And as a reminder, please feel free to visit the customer care booth at the foyer should you have any additional questions. Taking you back to this year's theme, empowering our future, unlocking tomorrow's potential. We showcase the future of the UTC through the voices of its younger team members. As such, I invite you to please focus your attention on this special video presentation.
I started studying the environmental sciences. I took a job in indoor air quality, and from there I decided I wanted to branch off. The Unit Trust was such a progressive looking organization that had a vacancy in health and safety, and so I applied for that job.
2 years ago, I joined Unit Trust Corporation fresh out of secondary school after completing my A-levels. I started off as an intern working directly with customers, and then I got the opportunity to join the marketing department.
Well, before I started working in Unit Trust, I was actually invited to a sports day that Unit Trust held at the U-Respect. I went. It was fun and had a lot of camaraderie and teamwork. You know, and then I was invited to the internship program in 2015. And I successfully was chosen, and it so happened that I was able to be assigned to the finance department, and that's where my studies were headed.
There are a lot of programs within the Unit Trust Corporation that are pioneered for the young and up-and-coming individuals, like Career Breakthrough. Unlike other places that I would have worked, Unit Trust also has multiple avenues to escalate up the ladder.
I'm encouraged by UTC's constant aim for improvement and welcoming of new methods and technologies. Here I could voice my opinions and present new solutions or different ways of achieving goals.
From visiting the organization, from seeing the advertisements, knowing a couple of people that worked at Unitrust, I got the idea that it was a good place for young professionals to work. And the aspect of health and safety, working with a company with multiple locations, a big branch on Independence Square, it was very exciting to me.
Some of the projects that I currently work on include our internal customers as well as our external customers in order to create a seamless experience for both internal and external customers. I aim to always interact and find new ideas and opportunities and avenues to which I can enhance the customer service experience.
To you young professionals out there, I would always say excel in no matter what task, no matter how big or small it is, excel in everything that you do. It is important to do your own self-development, your own research. It will take some long hours, it may take some extra time, but it will only benefit you in the long run.
I will advise to get a mentor and take the lead of that mentor to take you to the top or to where you want to be.
I think we could foster continuous improvement by keeping customers at the forefront of everything we do and asking ourselves not just how we could achieve our goals, but what's the best way to achieve them for our customers and for ourselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the Unitrust Corporation's 42nd Annual General Meeting. It was indeed a pleasure being here with you. We do ask that you allow the Acting Assistant Auditor General, Board of Directors, and presenters to make their way.
There we have it. UTC's 42nd AGM has come to a close, or rather, in line with our theme, it's the beginning of a new chapter, unlocking tomorrow's potential.
It has truly been an incredible morning here in Port of Spain for unit holders and for the UTC family. Thank you all for joining us today. You can also rewatch and share recordings of the full AGM on our Facebook page at any time.
I'm Danica Williams.
And I'm Sidel Molino. See you next year. You're still on camera.
A colleague once told me that you're never too old to learn, and that has resonated with me through the years, and I continue to learn and will continue to learn as long as possible. I'm Denise Sampson. I started working at the Unitrust Corporation in December 2005 with the then Chief Financial Officer. I enjoy learning at all times. My colleagues, my friends, my family, they trust me to get the task done. As an executive assistant, most people don't realize how much patience we need to have. You have to have a listening ear, listen to what they say, and try your best to comfort them and also to assure them that you will be able to assist them in the shortest possible time. My most memorable feedback at UTC is that I'm considered reliable. It made me feel all nice and warm and fuzzy, and it encouraged me to continue to do my best at all times. In the acronym FUND, the D for dependability represents me. I think dependability means that you're reliable, trustworthy, selfless.
I remember my dad telling me at 40 years, you know, start to get smart, right? So my name is Omar Holder, and I'm the Sales Manager of Advisory Services Department in the Sales and Marketing Division. I'll be here in Unit Trust 20 years, December 1st, 2023. Our day-to-day in sales is really connecting with people who are our investors currently and who are not our investors. Unit Trust is really a place that you live the Trinidad and Tobago motto of every creed and race can literally find an equal place. You meet everybody under the sun in Unit Trust. I think it'll be the you understanding. Unit Trust has always been an environment where it has taken me as I am. And I want to do the same. But I think you could only take somebody where they are if you understand how that person is. And once you understand where that person is, the sky is the limit from there. You're not gonna change them. You're just gonna get them to be exactly who they are in what you're asking them to do.